Hi everyone, it's Jackie. Here to share with you how to create the graduation uh, album in a box. Uh, so this is going to be the actual box, and then I will also share with you my pages, how I made the pages, and then also um, the completed project. I will also show you at the end, um, add at the bottom of this tutorial, I'm going to also add in this one that we are making tonight is going to be an 8 by 8, but I also have the measurements for you to make a 6 by 6 and a 4 by 4. So, and I will add those to the bottom of this tutorial. So tonight we're making the 8 by 8 album in a box, and a little bit different than what the one that Tamara shares. Because of the fact that she uses cardstock, and I'm actually making mine out of chipboard. So there's going to be a little bit of a difference there, all right, different measurements as well. So to start with, you're going to need one piece of a chipboard cut 9 by 9. So a 9 by 9 square chipboard, okay? And what you're going to do with that is you're just going to put that aside. That's going to be the last thing that we use. The next two pieces you're going to need to cut of your chipboard is 8 by 8. So you need an 8 by 8 square. And then you're going to need 4 pieces cut at 2.5 by 8. So you need 4 of these cut at 2.5 by 8. Then you're also going to need 4 pieces of chipboard cut at 1.25 by 8. So again, I'm going to go over that one more time. 4 pieces at 1.25 by 8 inches. 4 2.5 by 8 inches, and then 2 8.5 or 8 by 8 squares. All right. Then you're also going to need some binding strips, and these I simply take a 12 by 12 sheet of cardstock, and I score it on every half inch. All right. So then after I've scored it on every half inch, I come in and I cut it. So it's 12 by 12, so I move my paper to 11 inches and I cut it. So each one of these are 1 inch. So that way you'll have the score down the middle. All right. Now what I do also is I already know my box is going to be 8 by 8. So I cut my 12 by 12 sheet of paper before I cut these strips off. My 12 by 12 piece of cardstock, and I cut it off at 8 inches. All right, so that way I have my 8-inch strips. Then what I do with the 4 inches at the bottom, because I'm going to need my corners for in my corners, I also cut those down to, I cut 8 of those down to 2.5 inches, and then I'm going to need 8 of them at 1 inch. All right, and those are your corners to hold your corners together. So, okay, so what you want to do is grab one of your 2.5 by 8 pieces. Grab one of your strips, and sometimes if you fold these over, I usually go ahead and score mine over before I start my project, but I wanted to show it to you how I do it. And once again, I have misplaced my bone folder because I put it back where it belongs. Oh, okay, so you want to burnish your score lines so your strip looks like this, okay? Open it up. And I am going to use what glue in mine. You can use score tape, but I am going to use mine with the glitter, art glitter glue. So then I'm also going to taper my ends off, okay? So, and that just gives me a cleaner look at the end. So I'm going to add my glue to the inside of my fold. So I My score line's here. It's folded, burnished there, and it's going to be on the inside. And I'm just going to line this up with my 2.5 by 2.5. All right. Well, I guess I better get it down before I flip it over, huh? All right. I'm going to try to do this tutorial with no errors, so can't promise you anything, but I'm going to give it a heck of a shot. All right. So let me burnish that down, fold that over, and then add that over. Okay. So that your strip should come corner to corner, seam to seam. Okay. So go ahead and grab one of your 8-inch squares. And what we're going to do is we're going to start building our box. So what we're going to do is add glue to this side of the strip, the binding strip, and add your box. Now, you do want to leave about, I'm going to tell you 1 inch of, let me get one of these out here. Leave an inch gap between the two of them. So when you go to here, you want to leave a little bit of a 1 inch gap between them, okay? So what you can do is just take a piece of your chipboard, put it down, and that's going to leave that 1 inch gap, all right? And the reason you need that 1 inch gap is you want this to be bendable, because we're going to be folding it up and down. And we're going to add strips in here to reinforce it as well. All right, go ahead and grab your next strip. And burnish it down. I'm going to taper my ends. So I'm not really cutting the length off. I'm just starting at the corner and bringing it down, okay? Just to give it more of a, instead of a blunt square, I want it to be more of an angle. All right, so I'm going to add my adhesive. And I'm going to add this to this one here. Again, matching end to end. That moved on me. This one I'm going to have to trim it down a little bit. So this, see where it, alright, so I'm going to make sure that one's there. Add a little bit more glue on this one because it's not really adhering like I want it to. So, only because I was playing with it. And then, of course, I'm going to add too much glue to it. There's my white. Alright. Then you want to bring this over here. It doesn't matter what side it is. Whatever side you're comfortable with. Add your adhesive to the other side of your binding strip. I'm going to get my 1 inch, my one piece of chipboard so I can give it some room here. So I'm just going to butt that up to this piece right here and move this over. So it allows the 1 inch right there. Okay, and just make sure. Whoops. Just make sure that your edges are even with each other. Okay. Now I'm going to flip that over and I'm going to make sure that it's burnished down good. Alright. Now, I'm going to do it in one more. So, go ahead and get your another strip. And I'm going to miter the corners a little bit. My glue. Get my next 2.5 by 8 inch and line it up so that your binding strip is edge to edge. Check to see if you have to cut any off. I don't, because that one looks good. And you want to add your glue to this side. And I'm going to turn that around just a little bit. So I'm going to match edge to edge up and pull it back just a wee bit to make sure that I've got that 1 inch gap. All right. Up. All right. Okay, and you got 3 sides done. We're going to do our last side, so you're going to need another of your binding strips. Again, I'm going to miter my edges. Okay. Add adhesive to one side. And line this one up right against the score line. Make sure it's this one I do have over a little bit, so I want to clean that up and clean that up on that one. This one looks good. Okay, we're going to add our glue to the other side. And we're going to line it up with the bottom. And again, corner to corner. And I want to leave that 1 inch gap right there. And I'm going to flip it over and make sure I burnish it down. Okay. There. So that's our bottom of our box. So we've got all 4 sides on it. Now you want to get another strip because we want to attach our lid. Alright. And we're going to do that in a few minutes. But what we're going to do first is get it ready to be attached. So you want to get your strip. Again, miter your corner, your edges of your binding strip, and then add your glue to one side. And put it on. Now this is going to be, I put it on my left, it doesn't matter, but the way it's facing me, to me it's easier, okay. So, whoops. Alright, didn't really grab. Let me make sure it's on there before I flip it over. Make sure it's on there. Okay, so that's your bottom. We're going to add our top over on this side, so you can set that aside right now. And you want to grab your other 8 inch square of chipboard. And you want to grab 3 of your 1 1/4 by 8 inch chipboard, and then you're also going to need your binding strips. So go ahead and get them ready. I'm going to go ahead and fold 3 of them over because I know I'm going to need 3. All right. So you want to miter your edges on these. And I'm going to do all 3 right now while I've got them all done. That way I can just move along. All right, let's go ahead and add our glue to one side of one of our strips. Grab one of your 1 1/4 by 8. Match it up edge to edge. Okay. Make sure you burnish it down. I'm going to go ahead and add this. And I'm going to go ahead and add it onto this. Okay, this one I put right up to one another, okay? When I put it on, I stand it up. I don't lay it flat when I put it on. And I'll show you why, because we're going to create our lid. So go ahead and grab your next strip, add your adhesive, add your 1 inch, 1 1/4 by 8, match up your strip end to end. Double check. This one I didn't get quite on it, so I'm going to clip it off right there. All right, I'm going to add my next adhesive to my other side. All right, and I'm going to come in here and butt it right up to the edges. Again, I'm not worried about leaving that space in between there, because these aren't going to be moving up and down. Okay, get your other one. Now I did have you cut 4 of these. You're only going to use 3 right now. You are going to use that 4th one, but it's not going to be till after we construct our box, and that's just more for a decorated piece to make it look uniform as the lid. You have 4 sides to your lid. So, okay, go ahead and add adhesive to your other side and match it corner to corner. Make sure all of them are burnished down. Alright. Now before we secure our corners, we want to go ahead and add this to our bottom. So you have this one where we've added the strip to it. You want to add your glue. Or your adhesive, I'm sorry. Not everybody's using the liquid glue like I am. And you want to leave that 1 inch on this one. The one, when I say 1 inch, I don't mean 1 inch. I mean the one chipboard. So, and what I do is I just want to be able to move that chipboard in between the two, and that's going to give me space. Okay. All right. So now what we want to do is go ahead and get another strip. And again, if you don't cut yours down to 8 inches, you want to cut it, match it up evenly here, all right? And you want to fold it when you burnish it. We're going to put glue on this side. When we put the pieces here, we did it on the inside. This one's going to be on the outside. And I'm also going to add a little bit of glue down the middle of my seam there. So I'm going to add glue to both sides. And I did not miter my corners on this, and I'm going to have some issues, I think. So let's see. And I just want to stick it down in there. And then fold this over. Okay. So what I do is I usually use my bone folder. Run it down the middle. Yeah, that's what I thought. So I may have to cut this. Because I didn't miter my corners before I put the glue on. So it's going to be too close to this one. I think I'll be alright on that one. Okay. So you just want to work it in there. Make sure it's burnished down. So you're going to be able to bend it back and forth. Alright. So let's do the other one. And again, I'm going to put the glue down here. Not a whole lot, just a little bit. Just kind of helps adhere this. Fold this over. Burnish it. Miter my corners before I forget. And that's going to help soften. The glue here is going to help soften the cardstock that's there to be more bendable, pliable. So add your glue to both sides. And I'll tell you what, this art glitter glue is just absolutely fantastic because it doesn't take that much to really give it a strong hold. So again, what we're doing is we're reinforcing the sides. And as you work with this, it's going to bend more and more. That's why you want to make sure that both sides of these are really adhered down. Okay, I'm going to go back and put some more glue in here. I'd rather have too much than not enough. Okay, let's do the other side. Right in your corner. Again, I'm just adding a touch of glue in there, not much. Adding my glue to both sides of my strip. Tell you what, I can love this collection that I'm working with, this new by Doodlebug. Oh my god, it's just absolutely fun. Great. Probably one of the best graduation collections I've seen. The paper is just gorgeous. And I love all the embellishments. So, yeah, make sure we're going to put that down. And that one kind of lifted up on me, so I'm going to make sure I'm adding more glue. Okay, that's the bottom. And we still have to do the back and the lid. So, another one of my strips. Add a little glue. Add my glue to both sides. And again, when you put your strips down, make sure they are edge to edge. They're not going over. Okay. I ran out of 8-inch strips, so I'm going to have to cut me some more. Cut me some more. I've got this out so I can move it out of my way. Okay. So while that dries, we're going to go ahead and start our corners. So our corners, you're going to need 1-inch strips, all right? And what I usually do, these are a little bit above 1 inch. So if you take it and then fold it over, crease it, and that kind of gives you the size that you need. Fold that in half. You want to miter your corners. ahead. We're going to need 2 of them, or actually you're going to need 4 of them. So go ahead and cut you 4. I'm having a hard time cutting straight, obviously. Alright. And you can do these on your cutter. I'm just doing them by hand. And again, you're not taking a whole lot off when you miter your corners. You're just taking a little bit off to angle it. Is all you want. Get rid of my trash here. Clean up a little bit. Okay. So we want to put the corners together. So what we're going to do is we're working from the outside first. So you want your seam strip, binding strip, to again not go over the top or the bottom. You want it to just meet flush with the top of this. So these were 1 1/4 inch. So I cut you want your binding strips at 1 1/4. So what I want to do is there's 2 ways you can do it. I do it one way. So I only add glue to my one side, and then I match it up to my one end. Alright, and I get it on there, and then I bring it down and add my glue, and then bring this over, and you just want it flush. You don't want it on top of one end. You want it flush with each other, and just create your corner. Alright, you want to do make sure it adheres. Don't walk away like I just did. Okay, let's do the other side. Again, I'm just checking to make sure my strips don't go over the top of my sides. I'm going to add the one. Now this one I can do it this way. So I'll add it here. Make sure it's adhered. And then add my glue. To the other side. Bring it up. Meet it flush with each other. And then hold it. Just make sure it's adhered. Alright. Now for the inside, here's your fold. You want to put your glue or adhesive, I'm sorry, could be score tape or liquid glue, and then just put it in there in the corner. And again, you want to make sure, always do a dry fit to make sure that those are not coming over the top. Alright, you want it flush with the top. Okay, so let's do the other side. That's, oh, see, I'm glad I took that one because it is coming up over a little bit and I want it flush. And what we're doing is we're just reinforcing these corners so it holds. It's got a good strong support there. Alright, so fold those up. And your box is going to come like this. That's going to fold over. And this is going to fold in. We have to work with it a little bit, but there we go. Alright. And it will loosen up as you open and close it. Alright, so And of course, it's going to be a little stiff, but you want it to because of all the glue that you put on there. And you just want to work with it a little bit. So, okay. Now, so there's your box. No, something's not right. It's sticking out on that side, and I'm not sure why. All right. Okay. All right, so you're going to need some more strips, 8 inches. And let's see, let's go ahead and start here. So before you do the 8 inches, you want another one that's going to be the same size as your lid. All right, so we're going to clean up our corners here. Okay, so what we're going to do is we're cleaning up our corners. That's still coming over. So get those where it's going to be flush with that. All right, that one looks good. And now let's see if I can. And this one looks pretty good. Okay, so you need your 8-inch strip. And again, miter your corners. You're going to put adhesive on one side and line it up here. Okay. What I usually do is I bring this over and take my bone folder over so I know it's a good crease. And then I pull the top back and add my adhesive. Or you go ahead, if you're using score tape, I would go ahead and put score tape on both sides. Only take your score tape off of one side, and then once you have it on there and you have a nice clean fit, then at that point you can pull your other one off. Okay, then I cut the ends, my corner ones, and that's going to go right here. So I'm going to go ahead and add adhesive to both of these. Okay. And you can do your sides first before you do your edge. Depends on what look you want. When you put your pattern paper on it, it's going to hide it. And what this is just giving you a nice finish edge. So it looks very nice and clean. So I'm going to go ahead and put this one on first just to show you the difference. You're not going to tell when I put my paper on. Normally I would do it both the same way, but just so I can show you, I'm going to do it this way. One on before I put my edge on and the other one on after. So go ahead and get my next one ready. Let me move this over here to miter my corners because I'm making a mess. Alright, so again, I'm just going to put my glue or my adhesive, and again I'm using the wet glue. If you're using score tape, put score tape on both sides. Only take your score tape off on one side. Put it on there, fit it nice edge to edge. Okay, and if you have your score tape, if you're using score tape, now you can pull your second side off. I'm not, so I'm going to add my glue. Okay, and I didn't do this prior, so I'm going to do it now. And there you go. Okay, we got one more to do. Okay, so there's your top. That one's done. Now, we want to do the sides here and all of the sides on these ones. So, I did cut, I said 2.5-inch strips already, so I'm just going to go ahead and get those and get them ready. So I need 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 of them. Yeah, I've got 4 of them, so I'll go ahead and start with 4 when you're not sitting here just waiting for me. Okay, so I'm going to dry fit these again to make sure that they're fitting. They do. Now you can do these the same way I just did the others, or you can do it to both sides. So I went ahead and put glue on both sides, and then I'm going to take my bone folder and go down the seam, and then make sure this one is on here, and this one as well. Turn it over and do the other side. And again, this just gives you a nice clean look on your edges. Alrighty, I'm going to go ahead and I do pull all these little strands off before I put those on, because that's going to prevent it from going on actually nice and tight. Add that on. I got that one a little bit over. Just going to take my scissors and clean it up there. Get that on there quite straight enough, or down far enough, but that's will do. All right, next side. Get me along one of my 8-inch, and I'm going to do this because I'm going to have to cut some more, so I don't have enough cut. I don't think I have any more up there. Now, because these are longer, I am going to only do the one side and then add it, put it on, and then add the glue after I put it on. So the short ones, you can do both sides and get away with it. But this one, I want to make sure that we do it. Get it on there nice and clean. Okay, almost. We just got the other two sides to do. I'm going to have to cut me some more strips. So let me grab my score pal and another strip of paper. Make sure this is down first. Okay, let me move that out of the way. Get my score pile up here. And grab me a piece of cardstock. So I do know I need one. I did one. So I need 2 more 8-inch strips because I've got enough on the other ones. So I think I've got a piece of, I do. I have a piece of scrap here that I'm going to use. This is 4.5. I only don't need 4.5. I only need 4. So I'm going to score it at half, 1, half, 2, 2.5. I'm going to go ahead and take it all the way down. 3, 3.5, and then 4. Okay. All these little corner pieces from where you mitered, they sure add up and they make a mess. Okay, let's move that out of the way. So that's, when you do a 12 by 12, you're going to do it the same exact way. Now, because this has an extra 1/2 inch on it, I'm going to cut that one off first because I don't need it. So I'm going to put that up to 4. Just bring that down, take that 1/2 inch, throw it away. I don't need it. So this is 4. So I'm going to move it to 3. There's my 1-inch strip. Move this to 2. There's my second one. Move this one to 1. And there's my last 2. Now I'm going to cut. I do need 2 at 8 inches. So I'm just going to go ahead and cut those now because I know that's what I need. So I'm going to go ahead and save those because you never know when if I need them. But I do know I need 2 8-inch. So, okay, so I should have 4 more. I do. I have 4 more of my 2.5. by 1 inch. So I'm going to go ahead and get those done and mitered and get those ready. We'll get the mess out of the way. We're almost done. We'll be moving on to our pages, which are very, very easy. I'm going to tonight I'm going to go ahead and we'll get our pages made, and then we'll come back, our main pages made, I should say. And then I'll come back and I'll show you how I am going to add pockets and belly bands and some flaps, and we'll start some decorating of these. So, this is the base. Now, I did tell you at the beginning that I would have instructions or measurements for the 6-inch 6x6 box and a 4x4 box. You're going to make it the same exact way. You're going to construct it out of the chipboard and the binding strips. 4x4 is a little bit quicker, a little bit more tinier to work with. 6x6 as well. There's nothing to these. I mean, you can get a couple of these done in a day, easy. The decorating always seems, when I add my paper and embellishments, that always seems to take me the longest when I'm doing any of my albums. So, because I never know exactly what I want to do until I just jump in and start doing it. So, all right, I'm going to go ahead and put my sides on first. So, I'm going to add my glue, and again I'm going to add it to both sides because they're smaller and it's a little bit easier to fit them on there snugly than the large ones. So, alright, line that up. Right. Give it a nice clean crease. Excuse me, let me get a drink of coffee here. Alright, let's go ahead and do the other side. Get a clean crease. Make sure it's down. Okay. I'm going to do my 8-inch. Make sure I haven't cut it too short. And I think I did. I did on that one. Let's hope I didn't on this one. I didn't on this one. Alright, that one I'm going to get rid of because I'm not going to use it. Alright, so add my glue. Make sure I'm corner to corner, edge to edge. Okay, nice clean edge. Okay, one more. And then we can start on our pages. I may, looking at the time and the length of this video, I may go ahead and once we get this finished, I may do a second video on the pages, because otherwise I'm going to have to make 2 parts, because if it gets too long, I can't get it all into one. It won't let me add it if it's too long on YouTube. So I may just go ahead and do the second tutorial. I'll do the pages, but I'll give you the measurements for the pages before I get off of here. So this one is, I want to remember I cut the other one too short. So what I'm doing is basically I'm measuring, and what I'm doing is, so I folded it over. I'm going to hold it corner to corner, bend this over. All right. Kind of make my notch in it so I know where to cut it. So I don't have to put it on the thing. And I'm going to go ahead and cut it at an angle because I want it mitered. But I'm not cutting the length off. I hope anyways. No, I did. May have cut it. Yeah, it's a little bit too long. One of the reasons why you always want to have a dry fit. Yeah. Alright, put that on there. Okay. So, there's our box. All nice and neat. Very well cleaned up there. And my pen for my glue. And then I will give you the measurements for pages. So this is going to have 6 pages. And for the pages, you're going to want to cut 6 of them at 7.5 by 8. And then 6 at 8.5 by 8. When you add all those seam binding, it makes it a little bit tighter until you work with it. You just gotta work with it until it works in there. Well, what did I do? Okay, there I go. Okay, there's my box. Nice and neat, ready for paper. Now, that extra 1 1/4 by 8 chipboard, once we get the paper on, you can see right now the box has, the lid only has 3 sides. So once you get the paper on, you're going to then add this on and put paper on it to match. So that way your box will have 4 sides to the lid, okay? But you're not going to add the seam binding here, all right? Now, so there it is out flat. Okay. There we go. Okay, so pages. And again, I will when I go on the tutorial, I add those at the bottom of the second tutorial. So the pages you're going to need, again, 6 of pieces that are cut 7.5 by 8, and you're also going to need 6 pieces cut 8.5 by 8. You're going to need 6 pieces, and these you can use off all the next ones you get from your scraps. Okay, so you don't have to use a full sheet. You can get all of these from your scraps from these 6 pieces right here. So you are going to be using 12 pieces of cardstock, but you're going to get all these over here as from that as well. So you need 6 pieces that are 8.5 by 3 1/4. Those are going to be your pockets. You're going to need 3 pieces that are 2 by 8.5. Those are going to be your belly bands. You're going to need 3 4 by 7.5. Those are going to be your flaps. You're going to need 6 3.5 by 5. Those are going to be your tags. And then you're going to need 3 6 by 6, which are going to be your mats. All right. Now these 3 6 by 6, you may have to use, I know you can get all the other ones out of the scraps. This one you are going to have to use another sheet of 12 by 12. You're going to cut 4 6 by 6s on it. You will be using the last 6 by 6. I am going to put, my intention is that I'm going to put a booklet here on the top. My pages are going to hinge onto the back. So when you open the book, you open it this way, the box, I'm sorry. When you open the box, you're going to open it this way. And then your pages are going to be right here. There's going to be a booklet here that's going to be detachable. And then over on the bottom of this, I'm going to put a pocket here that's going to hold, so you'll have an expanding pocket to hold memorabilia here. All right. That's my plan to design this. So, again, I'll go over those measurements in my next tutorial when I walk you through making the pages and that. It's going to be a fun box. Now, you are probably saying, what about that piece, that 9.5 or that 9 by 9? We will be using that. I haven't forgotten about it. We are going to cover this with cardstock, and that is going to be our and what this is going to be when we get done, like from my photo, my finished project at the beginning, that is our cap to our hat. So this will be added on here. So you're going to have your cap, and then you'll have your button here with your tassel. So, and then when you open it, that just comes down like that. And the button's going to keep it up a little bit, but not much. Okay. You can put feet on this as well. So I'm going to see what it looks like with feet on it. So that I thought that would be kind of cool to have the hat sitting on a pair of the feet to raise it up off that, so it actually looks like a cap. So I'm going to see what that looks like as well. All right, thanks for joining me, and I'll be back with the page tutorial. Bye bye.